Respect, not using your love, respect, patience, who appreciate time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe week ahead of you and protect your energy. You know, no disrespect to nobody. Everybody's entitled to freedom of speech. So they say, right? At the end of the day, when someone is understanding themselves, to respect their neighbor, and stay in their lane with no malicious intentions, just because they're in tune with themselves and you may not be as in tune within yourself as much as they are, it's no competition. Or it's no competition when dealing with God. And I say that respectfully because when you're dealing with God, God is on your timing. And I say that respectfully because God is in everybody's life and on everybody's different timing. And I don't know who you generally pray to, but everybody seems to not pray for the same person, to pray to the same person. So, everybody's entitled to freedom of speech. But when a child of God acknowledges you and says to you that they overcame being sexually assaulted from a child point of view of age, or being traumatized from a child point of view going into their adulthood, dealing with trauma on top of trauma, or being abused, being manipulated, being disrespected, and all types of toxic behavior within the process of them trying to show for themselves, to be able to see for themselves. And they tell you as an adult, it took them time within time for them to understand the definition of true healing and what love looks like, and love starts with you genuinely within, and that God had guided them the right way. Just because you don't understand that God is working in someone's favor, or God allowed someone to stand in front of you today to allow you to see that God works miracles within a miracle, but it may not just be for your eyes though, because you hate in disguise and you have malicious intentions, and it shouldn't be like that at the end of the day. Because if anything, you say you're a child of God, like, it's called respect and staying in your lane. Just because you don't like somebody or whatever the case may be, or you can't get in tune with yourself, to respect your neighbor, to stay in your lane when your neighbor don't got no malicious intentions towards you. And that child of God is just staying in your lane. And because you're looking for a reaction out of them, you're not getting the reaction you want. So you just manipulate them and pick on them and all types of toxic behavior to allow them to feel that God is not working in their favor. But they stand before themselves today to show you, like, hey, I'm not here to brag about it. I'm a living testimony. I'm not here to throw in anybody's face. I'm only allowing myself to know that at the end of the day, God is not for sale. That's first and foremost. And what someone experienced and went through at the end of the day, somebody can get help for their situation, or know at the end of the day that they're not the only one, or to know at the end of the day, like, hey, I can overcome what I'm going through too, and I could be at peace with myself. When that energy hit different, because you're miserable and you're hating in disguise, and you feel like people can't overcome what they're transpiring, because you're stuck in a mindset at the end of the day that you think is the norm when it's toxic. There's nothing healthy about it. Nothing healthy about it. Especially to go against your neighbor, allow your neighbor to feel like they're unworthy. It's one thing to joke and play, or whatever the case may be, but when you take things a little bit too serious to bring harm towards somebody, or you're dealing with a child of God to try to manipulate the child of God, like, that's a problem. That's a problem. You haven't starting to have malicious intentions, and then you have motives on top of motives, and then you start doing spell work on the child of God. Like, that energy hits a lot different, and God did not approve of that. No, God did not approve of that, and I say that respectfully. We're entitled to freedom of speech. These tools that God installed within us: self-awareness, self-respect, self-peace, self-control, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-care, self-value, self-love, self-worth, self-patience, self-healing, and healthy boundaries. God installed those tools within us for a reason. So we be able to look at our reflection in the mirror and understand that we are beautiful. We are handsome. You put a name to your book, regardless of how God created you. When you look at your reflection of your mirror, like, wow, you know what? Just because someone allowed me to feel like I was unworthy of myself, I do matter. Just because someone overlooked me or gave up on me, at the end of the day, they didn't take the time to get to know me for who I truly am. Like, I could look at my reflection today and say to myself, is, you know what? I overcame so much in my life. I have to love me. And when you love yourself the healthy way, God will bring the right people in your life that's going to respect you and love you for who you truly are and honor you for who you truly are. With no malicious intentions, like your thought process or your freedom or your pockets. No, they're not. God's not doing that. God's going to send people genuine into your life. And you're going to be like, you know what, wow, I could finally breathe. That it hit, you know, that energy hit different. Especially once you're at peace with yourself, and then when you're not used to having, you know, people around you that can respect you for who you truly are, man, that energy hit different. It's a gift within the gift. And God knows at the end of the day that's what you genuinely need. Because you can't confide in certain people for reasons. Because they'll manipulate you, go against you, not even allow your word to be heard. Like, and you matter. Like, you matter. You matter. Just because they can't understand that you can respect yourself regardless, and when you're mentally ready to start your healing process, because you can't have one foot in one door, one foot in the other door, would never make sense. When you mentally ready to start your healing process, it starts with you. It starts with you. And you gotta mean what you say and say what you mean and stay genuine and true to yourself, because you are worthy. You matter. You matter. Regardless of who gave up on you, who overlooked you, like, you matter. It's not about them, it's about you. Because when you wake up every day, God chose you. And guess who chose you after when you woke up? You chose you. So when you choose you, you gotta choose your best self vision to show up. And you gotta forever stay genuine and true to yourself, because you can't wear a mask when you say you love yourself. You can't wear a mask. Nah, it ain't gonna make sense. And you can't wear a mask saying that, you know what, I want to start this healing process. It's called balance. It's not a rush to a process at the end of the day that God installed within you. It's never a rush. Because God is patient with you. You gotta remember that. If God is patient with you, right? Good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. You gotta always remind yourself at the end of the day, like, I gotta be patient with myself too. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to freedom of speech. God is not for self-protection energy, because everybody's ever get time. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. God is not for sale. And when you love yourself to respect yourself, when you understand the assignment that at the end of the day, what God got in store for you, you'll be able to look at your reflection in the mirror and face yourself and say, you know what, I want to start this trauma healing. Whatever healing that you need, whatever healing you need to work on within yourself. It don't matter. We put a name to your book. But you got to be mentally ready to do it. It can never be forced on you. And not only can never be forced on you, it's not an overnight process. It's a process within a process. It's baby steps, like learning how to walk all over again. Because you got to get in tune to who you are. And you got to bring out whatever hurt you and allow you to feel like, dang, I just want to regroup. I want to be at peace with myself. All those days that I cried out for God to guide me for better days ahead, or whatever the case may be, whatever's in store for me, like, I just want to be at peace with myself. To understand how to get there is to understand you and be true to yourself. And at the end of the day, when God closed certain doors in your life for certain people not to rotate to come back as returning back to sender, nah. God closed that door for a reason, for you to become your best self vision of yourself. You are not alone. You are not alone. And I say that respectfully. But you got to protect your energy. You got to protect your energy, because not everybody's deserving your time. Just because someone gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because someone overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. Aim to be treated with respect 365 days with no malicious intentions, being harm towards yourself and others around you. Protect your energy, because not everybody's ever your time. Never allow the enemy or hand in disguise or person with his intentions like you out your thought process, letting your freedom. You are worthy. God did not instill within us fear or to be discouraged. God installed patience within us. So continue to be patient with your process. Understand at the end of the day, you matter. Protect your energy, because not everybody's ever your time. You got this. One day at a time, because God got your back. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just because moments I truly appreciate the time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe remaining week. Have a safe day. Protect your energy. Naya, genuine love, respect. Love yourself, with God's protection for every direction.